Okay, so let's have a look at Joe Miller's golf swing. Joe's current European long driving champion, ex-Remax champion as well. Firstly, I want to thank Joe and both Joe and Lee Cox for their time at the Shire Golf Club. We managed to get Joe on our 6D K-Vest system on a body track mat, utilising flight scope for tracking his ball data, incorporating everything into Gasp. So let's have a little look at Joe's swing to start with. So we'll play this through. Okay, so let's talk about some of Joe's movements, his body's movements during the swing. So first of all, something that Kelvin Mayahara has written about in some of his articles is Joe's upload. So let's take his head position at the start. So his spine is extending. There's a slight sort of pelvic movement and spine movement here to allow his head to lift. This allows him to move his COP over to his right as he moves the club away. That moves significantly to his right side as his weight sort of moves into his right heel. So we can see at the top of his backswing there, he's 74% of his pressure is on his right side versus the 26 on his left. Okay, so let's have a little look at Joe's position then. We can see from the rotations of his body, his upper body's rotated fully there, his lower body is as well, his pelvis is sort of rotated towards the camera here. Joe has a slight sort of an extra lever that he dials into as well. His left arm slightly bends at the top of his backswing, something him and his coach Lee have worked on as an extra sort of power move for him. So something that was highlighted in the K-Vest data is Joe's X factor. He only has 3 degrees of X factor stretch. So for Joe really, that shows then he's pretty much turning everything at the start of his downswing. So there's definitely a very, very good hip movement, pelvic movement here as he starts down, as his sort of left side of his pelvis starts to sort of drop down as his body unwinds. A great creation of speed here as the club sort of lags behind the hands as he starts down. A move that Joe gets a tremendous amount of speed and power from is this early extension and this hip thrust towards the ball. Now the way that he really pulls that move off is that he gets his spine into this sort of almost kyphotic position at impact, which allows him to get the sweet spot back to the middle of the golf ball. And he has tremendous forearm speed. His rotation of his forearms through the ball incredible, higher than tour levels that we measured, which really allows him to release the club fully because his body isn't turning a massive amount through the ball. So his power's not from a rotational move, it's from his body's rotations, it's from his arms rotating through the ball. We can see that from his COP as well, because there's not massive, not really quick rotations of his body, so his COP is quite muted. It certainly moves from right to left, and then just as he gets his sort of left arm parallel to the ground, we can see his COP start to want to recoil. Now that's definitely a move that we see with the long drivers, is that white dot there is COP shifting towards his right side to allow him to sort of hit up with a driver. So we can see it's obviously not as dramatic with his iron as we see with his driver, but that COP is reversing prior to impact. His arms then rotate the face through the ball, releasing the club, and then his COP starts to then track left again. As he moves through into his finish position there, getting into his left heel. and turning his body through. An incredibly powerful golf swing.